Lunar Wolf Productions presents the unabridged reading of Spirit Animals, Book 1, Wildborn by Brendan Mole. Read to you by Analmook. 1. Brigham. Given a choice, Connor would have not picked to spend the most important birthday of his life helping Devon Turnswick get dressed. In all honesty, he would not have volunteered to help Devon Turnswick do anything ever. But Devon was the eldest son of Eric, the Earl of Turnswick, and Connor was the third son of Fenray, herder of sheep. Fenray had incurred debts to the Earl, and Connor was helping to work them off as a servant to Devon. The arrangement had begun over a year ago, and was set to last 2 more. Connor had to hook each fiddly clasp on the back of Devon's coat correctly, or the folds would hang crooked, and he would hear about it for weeks. The fine material was so decorative than particular, and if caught in a storm, Connor knew that Devon would wish for a simpler, more durable cloak. One without clasps. One that may actually keep him warm. "Are you done fussing back there?" Devon asked in exasperation. "Sorry for the delay, my lord," Connor replied. "There are 48 clasps. I am now linking the 40th. "How many more days will this take? I'm about to die of old age. Are you just inventing numbers?" Connor resisted a sharp reply. Having grown up counting sheep, he probably knew his numbers better than Devon, but arguing with a noble caused more trouble than it was worth. Sometimes Devon seemed to deliberately tempt him. "It's my best guess." The door flew open, and Dawson, Devon's younger brother, burst into the room. "Are you still getting dressed, Devon?" "Don't blame me," Devon protested. "Connor keeps napping." Connor only gave Dawson a brief glance. The sooner he finished the class, the sooner he could get himself ready. "How could Connor fall asleep?" Dawson called, giggling. "Everything you say, brother, is so interesting." Connor resisted a grin. Dawson seldom stopped talking. He often got annoying, but he sometimes be pretty funny. "I'm awake." "Aren't you done yet?" Devon complained. "How many are left?" Connor wanted to say 20. 5. "Think you'll summon a spirit animal, Devon?" Dawson asked. "I don't see why not," Devon replied. "Grandfather called a mongoose, father produced a lynx. Today was a Turnswick nectar ceremony. In less than an hour, the local children who turned 11 this month would each try to call a spirit animal. Connor knew that some families tended to form bestial bonds more regular than others. Even so, calling a spirit animal was never guaranteed, no matter what your family name. There were only 3 kids scheduled to drink the nectar, and the odds were against any of them succeeding. It was certainly nothing to boast about before it happened. "What animal do you think you'll get?" Dawson wondered. "Your guess is good as mine," Devon said. "What do you expect?" "A chipmunk," Dawson predicted. Devon lunged at his brother, scampered away, giggling. Dawson was not dressed as formally as his older brother, which allowed him freer movement. Still, Devon soon caught him and tackled him to the floor, pinning him down. "A bear would be more likely," Devon said, grinding his elbow into his brother's chest. "Or a wildcat like father. First thing I'll do is have it taste you." Connor tried to wait patiently. It wasn't his place to intervene. "You might get nothing," Dawson said bravely. "Then all I'll be is Earl of Turnswick and your master." "Not if father outlives you." "I'd mind my tongue, second son." "I'm glad I'm not you." Devon twisted Dawson's nose until he yelped, then stood up, brushing his trousers. "At least my nose isn't sore." Connor would drink the nectar too, Dawson cried. Maybe he'll be the one to call a spirit animal. Connor tried to look invisible, but did he hope to summon a spirit animal? Of course! Who wouldn't? You couldn't help hoping, just because nobody in his family had done it since some obscure great-grand-uncle decades ago didn't make it impossible. Right, Devon chuckled. And I suppose the Smith's daughter will summon one as well. You never know, Dawson said, sitting up and rubbing his nose. Connor, what would you like it to have? Connor stared at the floor. He had been asked a direct question by a noble, so he had to answer. I've always gotten on well with dogs. I'd like a sheepdog, I guess. What an imagination! Devon laughed. His sheep herder dreams of calling a sheepdog? A dog would be fun, Dawson said. And common, Devon said. How many dogs do you have, Connor? My family? 10, last I counted. How long since you've seen your family? Dawson asked. Connor tried to keep his voice even. More than half a year. They'll be there today. I expect they'll try. It depends on whether they can get away. In case they couldn't make it, he didn't want to show that he cared. How novel for you, Devon sniffed. How many class remain? 3. Devon turned around. Let's not dawdle. We're running late. An impressive assemblage had gathered in the square. It was not every day that the son of great lord quested for his spirit animal. Commoners and nobles alike had come for the event, old, young, and in between. Musicians played, soldiers strutted, and peddlers sold candy nuts. A grandstand had been erected for the Earl and his family. Connor thought it looked as if a holiday had been declared. A holiday for everyone but him. The day was cool and clear. The green hills where Connor would rather be roaming loomed far beyond the blue rooftops and chimneys of Turnswick. Connor had attended a few nectar ceremonies. He had never witnessed the calling of spirit animal, although he knew it had happened several times in the square during his lifetime. There had been a little pageantry at the ceremonies he had seen. None had been well attended, and none had involved so many animals. A common belief held that bringing together a variety of animals increased the chance of summoning an spirit animal. If so, Devon might be in luck. Not only were many domesticated animals present, but Connor saw mews full of birds with exotic plumages, a corral containing a deer, moose, several caged wildcats, a penned trio of badgers, a black bear chained to a post by an iron collar. There was even a beast that Connor had only heard about in stories, a huge camel with 2 furry humps. As Connor walked towards the center of the square, the hordes of onlookers made him self-conscious. He wasn't sure what to do with his hands. Should he fold his arms or let them dangle at his side? As he scanned the intimidating crowd, he tried to remember that most eyes were fixed on Devon. Suddenly Connor noticed his mother waving. His elder brother stood beside him, and his father. They had even brought Soldier, Connor's favorite sheepdog. They had all made it. The sight of them thawed some of his fear and awoke a longing for home. Meadows to wander, creeks to swim in, groves to explore. His work had been honest and outdoors, chopping wood, shearing sheep, feeding dogs. Their home had been small but cozy, and nothing like the drafty immensity of the Earl's castle. Connor gave his mother a little wave. The future Earl of Turnswick led the way to the bench near the center of the square. Abby, the smith's daughter, awaited them, sitting still and looking overwhelmed. She was clearly dressed in her best clothes, which were laughable inferior to even the most casual dress owned by Devon's mother or sister. Connor knew he must also look very plain beside Devon. A pair of green cloaks stood before the bench. Connor recognized the woman, Isla. Her graying hair gathered up in a glittering net over her pale face. Her goldfinch, Frida, was perched on her shoulder. Isla normally officiated the nectar ceremonies.